Welcome to the Movie Cheer podcast presents Clash of the Movie Sequels. The pay-per-view episode today, every 3 months, it is a pay-per-view episode on the podcast. I am your host, AP, aka Mr. Movie Cheer, and today I have a special guest host joining me for the very first time on the show. I have with me Shaun, aka Media Collector Madness. How are you doing, Shaun?
I'm good, thank you. AP, how are you?
I'm
Glad to be
doing
here.
very well, matey. Very, very well. And I'm very excited for today's show of Clash of the Movie Sequels. How are you feeling for the headline topic today? You feeling good?
Oh, yeah, I think so. I hope so.
Awesome, mate. So we are going to do, it's going to be a bit of a different show than normal. Usually it's a discussion about movies, but we are going to have a discussion, me and Shaun, about a few different movie sequels, 8 to be exact. And basically we're going to have an Eliminator tournament. So maybe if you watch on the channel, the World Movie League episodes, it's kind of going to be like a one-on-one tournament of these 8 movies. I picked out 4 movies. Shaun has picked out 4 as well. And we're going to discuss them, do the Eliminator tournament, go through the rules throughout, and hopefully we're going to have an awesome show. And I'm very, very excited for today's show, Shaun. Very excited indeed, mate. But before we get into the headline topic of today's show, as with every show, we do a segment of the show called Not So Worthy Blockbuster Housekeeping. This is the part of the show where we kind of ease into the show, calm the nerves, because I'm shaking now. I'm shaking with excitement right now. But yeah, so we'll get into Not So Worthy Blockbuster Housekeeping, where we discuss what's going on with the channel, what's going on with the community. We're also going to discuss Shaun's channel as well, Media Collector Madness as well. So let's get into it. Shaun, I'm going to let you take the reins here, buddy, and tell me about your channel, bud.
Yeah, so my channel is Media Collector Madness, because I collect all sorts of media, and it's just mad how much stuff I've managed to accumulate. So I do reviews, pickup videos. I've just started doing like out and about filming around charity shops and stuff, and picking up Blu-rays and DVDs. I haven't got into the whole 4K thing. I'm not going to get into that.
Have you been tempted by 4K, Shaun?
Not really. I've literally, when I started my channel, one of the points of the channel was to try and get a collection on a budget.
Yeah.
So that's why I started collecting Blu-rays.
Yeah.
So I go to around charity shops, CEX, Music Magpie is a good one. I pick some bits and pieces up off of. You can get about like £2 or £3 a Blu-ray or whatever.
Yeah, so, I go on there a little bit. Like I go on the eBay store. I don't know do you go on eBay or is it through the website? Do you go
on? I have been on eBay and picked up a couple of bits and pieces. But yeah, it's mainly like charity shops and stuff like that. Like Oxfam's pretty good. I go there quite a bit. They like £2 or £3 a Blu-ray.
Awesome. So, and you've had I've noticed today you've had a new video hitting on YouTube and Instagram. So what's the new video?
That's a pickup video. That's a small out and about around Oxford. And I'm getting used to filming out and about, so it's not very long.
Yeah.
It's getting the confidence to go. It's getting the confidence to go around with the camera out and the phone out.
I honestly, I admire yourself. Anyone who goes out with a camera into the shops, because I've never done it, and I think I'd be nervous doing it. Because like, do you feel like someone's like looking at you? I suppose everyone has their phones out nowadays, but I still feel like it's like for me, there's like a stigma attached to it. You're talking to a mic and stuff. I feel like dead nervous.
Well, before Christmas, I met up with a YouTuber, James Millership.
Yes.
And we went round Dudley, and I was watching him, and it was amazing watching him do it. He just didn't care. He was just there with his camera, and it's me doing it, going, "Yeah, all right then."
You're like a ninja. Like, hey, it's good fun. I watched that video, and that was a great video as well, buddy. Very, very, very good video, mate.
Yeah, we're going to meet up again once in a couple of months, I think.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. I must add, like, your channel you've got a great channel, Shaun, as well. I think
it's been a while since I posted. I've had a long break, but yeah, good to be back on there now.
Well, it's good to see you back on, mate. You've got a great channel. I like hearing your views, and it's cool. This is the first time I've spoken in person. Well, not in
Yeah,
person,
yeah.
but I mean,
We're
not
always
over.
always on Instagram or WhatsApp.
Exactly. For we've like I feel like we found a common interest in movies and wrestling, and I feel like we've
Yeah,
become good buddies over the past few months without even talking in person. It's kind of weird, but I think that's just like the way things are now. People just do that. I
yeah.
know.
The world's a smaller place, isn't it now?
Yeah,
You
it's
wouldn't,
right.
a few years ago, you wouldn't be able to do stuff like this.
I think it's amazing. It's absolutely awesome that you can do these live streams now, and it's going to be cool today. So,
Mm.
like I say, if you've not checked, I'm going to put in the link in the bio where the descriptions, the links to Shaun's Instagram and his YouTube channel. Check out if you've not checked out Shaun's channel before. Media Collector Madness on YouTube. Where else are you on, Shaun? Are you on Facebook?
I'm on Facebook, Instagram,
Yeah,
Twitter, and
Twitter.
I'm on Letterboxd as well. So
Fantastic.
I haven't posted on Letterboxd for a little while.
Superb. That is. I mean, I remember you sending me a link. That's like I'd never. It's not a website I'd really use that often. I'll be honest with you, but that's like all just reviews in on Letterboxd. Is it?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Superb, buddy. So, like I said, check out Shaun's channel. It's an awesome channel. What else is on Not So Worthy Blockbuster Housekeeping this weekend? Well, next week it will be the last show before I take a 2-week break. It is going to be another special episode next week. It's going to be a WrestleMania special edition. Did one last year where it's like a movie special. We'll be looking at wrestlers who featured in movies and also giving a few predictions on WrestleMania. Like I said, Shaun, you are a big wrestling fan like myself. What
Yeah.
is going to be the highlight for you at this year's WrestleMania?
I like the see what happens with Stone Cold Steve Austin when he comes back. What they're going to do with that angle.
Oh hell yeah! Oh hell
Yeah.
yeah!
I think one of the main matches of the 2 nights is going to be Edge versus AJ Styles. I think that's going to be an awesome match.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a great one as well. Like Edge is, I mean, just you look at AJ, he's the big, big hitter, the main star for like last 20 years, and obviously Edge took that big break. But it's good to see them. Have they had a match before? Have they not?
No, apparently they haven't. It's a match they both wanted.
Well, I remember he had the tease at the Royal Rumble, like a while back, didn't he, when he returned? But Peach Stream, I know Shaun, you've been on Peach Stream as well before. Playtendoguy, and you were watching that stream the other night, weren't you, as well?
Yeah. I watched most of it.
Yeah, I mean, both guys, really nice guys, the pair of them, really awesome channels. I'm going to link the channels in at the end of this video in the bio description as well. Check out both those channels. Awesome guys, really nice guys, genuine fans of movies as well, and same as ourselves. I think that's bottom line. We're both just big fans of movies, and that's a common ground for us all. I think that's what makes us all good buddies online when we discuss, and I love that. So check out both of those channels. 2 awesome live streams, and they got some cracking ones coming up as well. Just a quick one as well. The latest video this week, I did a video on I'm trying to think now. Best movie titles by the name. Have you heard about this trend? Well, it's a upcoming trend.
Is it John? I can't remember. Can't pronounce his surname.
Mondo Chelloveck.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. I watched it. I watched his, and I watched yours.
I've seen a few.
I've only seen yours and his.
Right. Okay. All right. Yeah. Have you got any picks in your collection, Shaun? What you would say is a movie that just stands out by the name? Any that come to mind?
I like the one-word titles, like Kingpin.
Kingpin's a good one.
Kingpin's a good one.
Yeah.
And then you got Kick-Ass.
Kick-Ass, yeah.
Kick-Ass, yeah.
That's a good one.
Stuff like that. Yeah, that's some good ones.
Yeah,
I might do a video. I might do a video myself.
Honestly, I'd love to see it. It'd be awesome to see. That's again that video came out on Thursday. Best film titles by name. 6 titles I chose, and the ID was followed by John, aka Mondo Chelloveck Movies. I'll link in his original video in the bio description at the end of this video as well. Check out John's original video. It's awesome, and he's sort of put it out there for anyone to tag yourself in to do this topic yourself, and I think that's a really cool, because we had a few trends before Christmas. There was like a few of them videos, weren't there, Shaun?
Yeah, there was was it top 10 movies you hadn't seen yet?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've managed to watch 3 of them.
Right. I can't even remember what was on my list now. I mean, I probably might watch 1 or 2 of them, but
Alf,
it's.
Blade, and I can't remember the last one that was I watched Blade for the first time.
Did you like Blade?
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, it's
I'm
good.
looking forward to see what they're going to do with this new incarnation.
It's going to be cool. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
It's going to be toned down though, and it's going to be watered down.
Well, I mean, they're doing the Deadpool, aren't they, as well? I'm interested to see what they do with them sort of genres. Are they going to do them R-rated, or like you said, are they going to be toned down?
But I think if he's going in the MCU, then I think it'll be like a 12 rating, won't
it? Yeah, most likely, yeah. But I mean, like I said, it'll be interesting to see. I think they're doing. I remember listening to it on a podcast the other day where apparently there's like a Halloween special coming out on Disney Plus this year that's going to feature Blade.
Yeah, so, I think I heard you mention that.
Yeah, so I can't remember. I can't remember what the name was. It was on the Weekly Planet podcast with the two Aussie guys, and they mentioned it briefly.
I never heard that.
It's a really good movie podcast, really cool movie podcast, that one. But anyway, that's the not so worthy blockbuster housekeeping over for today's show. Let's move on to the headline topic of today's show. So the clash of the movie sequels, Shaun. We've arrived at the headline topic, buddy. Do you want to give your picks first? Which movies you chose?
I picked John Wick 2. I'm trying to remember what I picked now. Not Back to the Future. That was you.
I'm like that. I'm looking at these.
Terminator 2. I picked John Wick 2. Can't remember the last 2 I picked.
You had Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier. Yeah, that's it.
And Deadpool 2.
And Deadpool 2. Yeah.
Yeah, and I had Toy Story.
Yeah.
Toy Story 2, sorry. Star Trek Into Darkness, the second J.J. Abrams one. And I had Attack of the Clones, Star Wars The Attack of the Clones.
Yeah.
And Back to the Future Part 2. That's correct, isn't
it? Yeah, that's it. I can't remember. I kept thinking I picked Back to the Future.
Man. Yeah. So we've got those. What we're going to do, like I said, it's going to be an Eliminator tournament. And basically, we're going to have 2 brackets. So we're going to have the first bracket, and it's going to be Terminator 2 versus the Winter Soldier. And then we're going to do Toy Story 2 versus Star Trek Into Darkness. The winner of those 2 matches will face each other and go into the final, to the semis, then to the final. And the next bracket is Attack of the Clones versus John Wick 2. And then we have the next match in that bracket is Deadpool 2 versus Back to the Future Part 2. The winners of those will fight each other, if you like, and then they will go on to the final as well. They're going to be scored on different scorings. We'll mention it when we get to the matches. I just thought as well, maybe there might be points in this where we don't agree. And I think that's cool if we don't agree. So I was thinking maybe for each bracket, for the first bracket, we both have an opportunity to call something I call a judgment card, because we're judging these matches now. So if we're tying and we can't come to an agreement, someone can call the judgment card, and the first one to call it gets to decide the winner of that match. But you've only got 1 card per bracket, so you've got to choose wisely and choose which one you'd like to get through to the next round. So are you happy with that, Shaun?
Yeah, okay.
Awesome, buddy. Right, let's dive into this. First of all, what's some of your favorite movie sequels of all time, Shaun?
I like the Planet of the Apes sequels. Well, I like the whole lot really, but I like the sequels.
Yeah, the reboots.
Yeah, the reboots. I like the originals as well. Got the originals and TV show.
Yeah, TV show's boss. Really, really underrated. I think the TV show doesn't really get enough.
I managed to pick that one up. That was pretty good.
That is brilliant.
I like my comedies, so I like it's in Daddy's Home too, and
I say I've not seen that. I've seen the first one.
Yeah, the second one's good.
It's got Mel Gibson, isn't it?
He's really funny in it. John Lithgow.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because he plays Will Ferrell's dad, isn't he?
Yeah. That's quite a good, funny, silly movie.
I'll have to check that one. I like the first one. The first one was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Will Ferrell in general, he's He's a fun guy. I think. What about? I mean, comic book side of things. I mean, Dark Knight. Are you a fan of the Dark Knight?
Yeah, I like the Dark Knight trilogy.
Yeah.
Not as keen on the third one.
Right.
Third one was all right, but I prefer the second one to the third.
Yeah, I feel the same.
Yeah, and then you've got Batman Returns from the original.
Yeah.
Tim Burton films. I think that one's the better one out of the.
I like. Yeah, I suppose it's. I can't really decide. I flip flop with them movies a lot, like to which ones I like more. But I think Batman Returns is boss. It's a cool movie, and obviously you're not seeing the new Batman movie. You're not seeing it as of yet.
I'm hoping to go and see it Monday. I haven't had a chance to go and see it yet. So,
superb. Yeah. I'm surprised you. I was saying this to you the other night. I'm surprised you've avoided any spoilers on the internet. It's just like it feels like this week, especially, there's been some spoilers out there. I'm surprised you avoided it.
I've been pretty good. When I was watching yours the other week, I just skipped from the intro.
Why is very well
up to the last few bits.
Hey, wise man.
Yeah. So like Spider-Man, I haven't seen yet, so that's coming out
next month, isn't it? Is it the 15th? Is it maybe, or I know it's definitely next month.
I'm not sure. I know Sky's got an early release on it,
or maybe it's out early. Because I think I said last week on the show it was already out or something, but I got confused with the dates.
See, I thought it was the 4th.
Yeah, I think it is the 4th. You know, I think you're right. I think you are right.
But I know Sky is doing an early release on it, so
that's one. I think. I mean, if you like the other Spider-Man movies, I think you'll enjoy this one. Like, have you avoided?
Tom Holland makes a good Spider-Man, I think.
Yeah, I like him. I thought the first movie was definitely the best one. I think the first one with Michael Keaton as the villain, I thought he was superb as Vulture. Yeah. He was pretty incredible. But anyway, let's get to the first matchup. Let's see. So we have Terminator 2 versus Captain America: The Winter Soldier, and we are going to score this one on the best character. So we're going to pick the best character out of both of these movies, pick our favorite characters, and really put them against each other and choose which one is the best to go through.
But Patrick as the villain in that, I think he makes a really good, cool villain in a lot of the films he does.
Yeah,
I think he's awesome in this.
He's just got like a menacing face, doesn't he? He's just like his demeanor.
Especially at the time, because he's obviously a bit older now. He doesn't look as menacing as he used to.
Yeah. Have you seen the Peacemaker show, Shaun?
No, not yet. I think Sky are just about to.
Yeah, they're on.
So I'm going to watch it then.
Yeah, I mean, he's in that. I'm not going to spoil too much, but I mean, he's kind of. He feels like he's got them vibes again from Terminator. But I think he does make an awesome villain in this, and he's just like. I think the outfit is so iconic, isn't it? You know, like he's in the police outfit. It's super iconic.
They tried to copy it with the Dark Fate, the Terminator Dark Fate.
See, I've not seen them. But isn't it the guy from Ghost Rider? Is it, or is like the cop in it? He's in
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
But yeah, I agree. He's certainly a really good villain in this. What about Arnold? What do you think of Arnold in this movie?
Arnold. Well, because it seemed weird because I think a lot of the like action heroes make good villains.
Right.
When you got Bruce Willis on the Jackal and got Stallone in, is it Spy Kids 3D? I think he was in that.
I think you mentioned that to me. I don't think I've seen that one, or maybe
I've seen that. And then you got Jean-Claude Van Damme in Black Eagle and No Retreat, No Surrender. So I think they make good villains.
Yeah.
So in the first one, he was awesome, and I watched the making of the first one, and then the second one, it's weird seeing him being the good guy.
Yeah, it's kind of like he flips it well though, doesn't he? I think he does play the good guy better. Well, he plays them both well. I do like him in the first one as the villain. He's just like just due to his size, he's a massive guy and he looks terrifying. But I think you know what, I would agree with you though on characters for Terminator 2. I think the best person to represent it is probably Robert Patrick. I think he's a top villain. So let's look on the flip side now, and let's look at Winter Soldier. So we got, this is the second movie in the Captain America trilogy, and we see the return of Bucky Barnes, but he is now the Winter Soldier in this movie. Any favorite characters in this? I mean, mine would be the Winter Soldier personally. I think he just stands out as this. It's where you look. I think I watched the first movie, but then I watched the second one. I couldn't really remember the character that much in the first movie until I kind of looked into it more and was like, oh yeah, this is his friend. And then you see more of it, and he's he's so cold-hearted, and he's just a cold-hearted assassin. He can't remember his past, and he can't remember who he is or who Steve is, and it's kind of weird. But what do you think of that movie? Do you think he's a good villain? Who would you say is your best character?
I think Scarlett Johansson's Black Widow makes a bit of a better showing in this one than she did in Iron Man and stuff. I thought she was pretty good in this one.
Yeah.
But I agree with you on the Winter Soldier. I think his evolution of the character from this one and the first one, and then all the way up to now with the TV show that they're in.
Yeah. I
think he's pretty good. But I think Scarlett Johansson's Black Widow, I think she had a bit more of a showing in this one.
She certainly does.
She had a bit more of a spy feeling to it.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I think her character progressed probably the most. I would say over the Marvel movies.
Yeah. From
the first one, did you like the Black Widow movie as well?
I didn't mind it. I thought it was a good, more of a filler movie, really. I think it should have come out earlier.
Yeah. Well, so do you want to go for? I think let's go for that. Go for Robert Patrick. I'm happy to go for the Black Widow as well because I can agree she's definitely had a lot of progression there. So it's Robert Patrick's villainous role in Terminator 2 versus Black Widow as the hero character, the one of the friends of the protagonist, Steve Rogers, taking on the Winter Soldier. Who's the better character though, Shaun? Who would you say?
I think the more rounded character would probably be Black Widow because she's obviously been in more stuff than. But if you go basing it on the film,
right?
Then I think Robert Patrick is probably the better character for the standalone movie.
Yeah, I have to agree with her, buddy. I mean, I like Black Widow. I think she's a really cool character, and I enjoy the progression. But if we're looking at just solely as the Winter Soldier, I think versus the Terminator 2 movie, I think Robert Patrick's villain is a much stronger character. I think it's just so much more iconic, and just on screen, his presence is superior to Black Widow's for me for this movie. So are you happy for Winter Soldier to say goodbye to Winter Soldier in the Clash of the Movie sequels?
That sounds good.
Let's scratch it
out.
You happy
with that?
I'm happy with that as well. So Terminator 2 goals sees it lasts another day and it will go through to the next round, to the semi-finals.
So far in agreement.
Yeah, so far. I've got my judgment card ready though, so just ready. We might get to a point though where we need to use them judgment cards, and let's see. Right, so next up we have Toy Story 2. Toy Story 2 versus Star Trek Into Darkness, and we are going to be scoring this one on Best Villain. So Best Villain, not Best Character, Best Villain this time round. Toy Story 2 is, Toy Story was super successful for Pixar, and then it was a couple of years later, Toy Story 2 comes out, and for me, when this came out, this movie, I wasn't super keen on it, I'll be honest with you. When it first came out, it was I think the first one, I enjoyed it so much. I was like a big fan of the first film.
Yeah.
The plot in it, and I think some of the characters, I think I point to the character of Jessie, the cowgirl character, and her character just didn't really click with me at the time. And I know it's a cartoon character, but it just put me off as watching this when it came out. So I wasn't a massive fan at the time, but I've recently rewatched it over the past year or so and really enjoyed it. How do you feel about Toy Story 2? You a fan of the movie?
I'd watched it so many times when it came out because I had young nieces and nephews at the time, and it was constantly watching. You get bored with it after a while.
Yeah,
but yeah, it was really good. It was really good. I liked the first one, but I thought the second one was better.
Yeah.
And yeah.
And then we have on the flip side of the coin, we have Star Trek Into Darkness, the J.J. Abrams. He directed two of the trilogy so far, and I think someone else directed the third one, Star Trek Beyond. I really enjoyed the first movie. I thought it was great, and I think it feels like Star Trek Into Darkness. The second one has a bit of like a negative feel around it in general from fans. What would you say to that?
I think it's because it's based on the original Wrath of Khan, isn't it? From the original trilogy. I think it's where they tried swapping it all around and stuff like that.
So I've never watched the original movie. So is it kind of like a direct copy? Would you say, or is it?
No, what they've done, they flipped it round and stuff. I don't want to say too much in case you haven't seen any of the originals.
Right. Okay. Right.
But yeah, if you ever watch, I think it's Star Trek 3. I think it's Wrath of Khan.
Right. It's meant to be a good film. Yeah, I've
it's
never watched that one.
Film. Yeah. The original was really good.
So this obviously Benedict Cumberbatch comes in. He plays the villain that is called John Harrison, I believe, and then it's revealed. I'm going to give you spoilers here. This is a movie. It's been out for a couple of years now. I think we can go into spoilers. I feel he is later revealed in the plot to be Khan, the iconic Star Trek villain. And would you say Khan like on a level with like a Darth Vader? Would you say he's like the Vader of Star Trek? Would you say, or
from what I remember from the original, he I think they had genetically engineered.
Right.
He had a crew with him.
It was similar in the movie, wasn't it? In
this
one as well.
But I suppose if like done, they swapped stuff around. Like, because have you seen any of the original movies, the Star Trek movies?
I remember watching the first one, and I just couldn't get into it years ago. And
the first one's the worst one.
Right. Okay.
That's really slow, but then it gets better as they go on.
Right. Is it? Where would you start off? Would you say you have to watch the first one of the originals?
I wouldn't say you have to watch the first one, but I suppose if you like the original series, then it's probably worth watching. But
worth checking out.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna do, like I said, it's gonna be best villain. So let's start off with this time Star Trek Into Darkness. Best villain. I mean,
there's only one villain really.
There's only one. I mean, I suppose you could say the guy, was it Peter Weller?
Yeah.
He plays like a kind of like a sub villain, but I think in general, Khan. I'm happy to say Khan is the main villain in this movie.
Yeah.
I'd
say that too. He's really good in this as well.
I like him. I really like him.
He's another one that plays a good villain.
Yeah, definitely. He really does. I remember there was like rumors at the time that he was going to go into Star Wars and like when they were doing the sequels, like the sequel trilogy. I thought he'd be great. He'd be awesome. Benedict Cumberbatch. I think he, like, looking at Khan in this, he just seems like really. He feels like, I think he's done loads like that stage acting, isn't he, and stuff. And it feels like it comes on screen that he feels like this Shakespearean, like dark villainous character, like from like a Macbeth play or something like that. He seems terrifying, just the way he speaks when he's just speaking really slowly, I find in this. On the other side, we've got Toy Story 2.
Yeah.
Who would you go for the villain in this? We've got Al.
That would be either Al or the Prospector, wouldn't it?
I think I'd say lean more towards the Prospector. What do you reckon?
Yeah, that sounds good. Kelsey Grammer's really good in that as well.
He is. He's great. I love Kelsey Grammer in Cheers, in Cheers, in Frasier.
Yeah.
And in this, I mean, his character in this basically, he's one of the toys from the Woody's Roundup, isn't he? The TV show.
Yeah.
And he basically he wants them. What's the plot? It's like they go into a museum, isn't it? Woody gets kidnapped by Al. He gets taken there, and then they're going to be taken to a museum to get showcased because these are like these iconic toys from this TV show, Woody's Roundup, what was out in the 50s or the 60s. And basically, you know, it turns out that he's a bit villainous, but do you think he is like a villain in this, or is he just kind of like fed up of just living in a room? What would you say?
It sounds like it, doesn't it? He's been boxed up, hasn't he, for so many years?
Yeah,
waiting for him to get Woody, so they can actually get out of the box.
That's what I mean. And Woody comes along and he's like, he's showing all this and he's mesmerized, and then his friends turn up and it's just like he just like, oh, I'm gonna go now, and then it's like he's ruining it all for him and he's gonna have to go back into boxes again. So
Yeah,
you can kind of understand him, why he would want to like try and like lock Woody away, Woody from going out, like not letting him go escape the room, and then so they go into the office to this museum. But who is the best villain? Who would you say, if you're having a villain contest, Shaun? What would be your pick for? I know mine would be Khan. But
yeah.
I don't. How do you feel?
I suppose if it's basically animation versus live action, isn't it? If you
Yeah,
like your
I mean, if you enjoy Toy Story 2, though, I think he's a good villain. He's a good villain,
mm,
the prospector. But I think, like you said, live action versus, I think just on screen presence, I think he comes across as a better villain when Khan's like taking out people in the
yeah,
Starfleet and stuff. He just comes across as a terrible person.
I
More,
think Khan's definitely more brutal than the Prospector. I think it's safe
yeah.
to say. So
I am gonna go with Khan. What about you, bud? Are you going for?
yeah, I'm going Khan.
Are you happy with that?
Yeah,
No judgment cards.
no judgment cards yet.
Right, awesome. So, um, let me scribble this out. So we have the bracket A. We have Terminator 2 versus going through, and Star Trek Into Darkness going through to the next round. Let's go to bracket B now. First of all, we have Attack of the Clones versus John Wick 2. Have you been rewatching these movies this week, Shaun?
What did I watch this week? I've watched John Wick 2,
Yeah.
and I did Back to the Future 2.
Were they both fun rewatches?
Yeah, I enjoy them anyway. But yeah, John Wick 2 is probably my favourite one out of the two of them.
Yeah.
Because it's more action, and the other one's more from nostalgia. And remember watching it when I was little.
I know what you mean. I was watching John Wick 2 this morning to get fresh for
Yeah,
this, and I was watching a few of the other ones throughout the week, and I forgot how good it was. John Wick. Well, I mean, the first one was great, and John Wick 2 is just equally. It's just a superb sequel.
yeah, and they're filming number 4 now, aren't they?
Yeah. How
So,
far do you reckon it can go? Do you reckon this could be one we see 4 and a 5, or?
well, there was talk of doing a team up with Nobody, Bob Odenkirk's character.
I'll be down for that.
There was on about doing that, because I know Bob Odenkirk wants to do a sequel to Nobody because he just recovered from a heart attack, didn't he?
Yeah.
But he definitely wants to do a sequel, and there was talk about letting him do the sequel because of all the physicality of it.
Nobody was a great movie, and was it by the same director? Was it, or the same producers? Something like that, wasn't it?
I believe it was the same producers.
Right. Okay. So
because,
go on. Sorry, Shaun.
Because I think they're doing their TV show, aren't they, based on the Continental Hotel?
Yeah, I heard about that. I don't know like what's going on with that. Whether it's still.
I know Keanu Reeves is supposed to produce it.
Right.
And I think he was on about appearing in a couple of episodes on it.
That'd be cool. That'd be cool to see. I mean,
so whether that's coming about, I don't know, because it's been a little while since I've heard anything about it.
Yeah, I could see something like that going. I don't know who the production house is on Nobody and John Wick, whether it's Warner Brothers, but I could see something like that going to like that HBO Max.
Yeah,
that looks like the sort of show with like they got like these Peacemaker shows coming. It could work really well. Something like that, the Continental. I'd be intrigued to see that. But yeah, the sequel,
because there's several of them, isn't there? There's quite a few Continental hotels all over the place.
Yeah, because in that one we see 2 of them, don't we? In the John Wick 2, in the sequel.
Yeah.
But it is very, very cool movie. But like I said, it's going to be Attack of the Clones versus John Wick 2, and we're going to be scoring this one on Desert Island Choice. First of all, before we get to the matchup, Shaun, Star Wars prequels, what do you think? Are you a fan of them? What are your feelings on them as a whole?
I didn't mind them. I thought they were pretty good. To be fair, I prefer the originals, but the prequels weren't bad. I like the evolution of Anakin Skywalker's character to go up to Darth Vader.
Yeah, that
was one of the main things for me, was the evolution of his character.
I agree.
One as well.
Yeah, I mean, Hugh McGregor. We got the upcoming Obi-Wan Kenobi show coming up with Hugh McGregor as well, haven't we? Now it's going to be interesting if they tie some of that stuff in with like how they're going to tie it all together and what we
Yeah, because
might
apparently
see.
they meet, don't they? Darth Vader and Obi-Wan meet again.
Yeah, and because he's coming back, isn't he? Hayden Christensen as well. So
there must be a few scenes without his mask on.
I hope so. They could do it two ways, I suppose. They could do it with where they show him without the mask, or it could be flashbacks potentially to the Clone Wars TV show, maybe. I think either of those ways it would be awesome. I think it's going to be exciting, isn't it? I mean, I'm looking forward to it as a Star Wars fan. I mean, what did you think of the sequel trilogies? Are you a fan of them ones? And compared to the prequels, what would you say? What's better for you?
I didn't mind the sequel ones. I thought The Force Awakens was too much like The New Hope.
Yeah, I agree. I enjoyed it, but I can understand that.
But then it was it seemed to be the evolution of Rey's character seemed to be a bit quick, because all of a sudden she could use the Force and she could do all this stuff that all these Jedi had spent years training to do, and she'd done it within a few minutes of finding out that she could do it.
Well, the Force awakened within her.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
the only thing I didn't really like about it. Was the speed that her character progressed in that film. But it was a good film. Like the effects, and I like the Star Killer base and
they just kind of up the ante, didn't it? It was like Death Star. I know it's like they shown it in the film. It's like, oh, this is the Death Star, and then it was like, this is the Star. What was it? The Star Killer base, and it was like twice the size. Whereas,
I think that was going to be his original name, weren't it? Star Killer.
Yeah.
Luke Skywalker. For Skywalker, it was going to be Star Killer, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, that would have been a cool name. That would have been an awesome name. But yeah, so let's go for this anyway. Desert Island Choice, Attack of the Clones versus John Wick 2. First of all, I've rewatched both of these this morning. I don't know. Have you had a recent rewatch of Attack of the Clones as well, Shaun?
No, I haven't watched Attack of the Clones for a little while.
Right. Okay.
It's got to be a couple of months ago.
But is it in like the muscle movie memory?
Yeah. I liked it.
Where would you put it in, like your top three? Is it your first out of that prequels or last? What would you say?
The prequel wise, I thought the third one was the better one.
Yeah, I'd agree. I'd agree with that.
Yeah, I didn't mind the first one. But the second one's probably my second favorite out of the three.
Right. Okay. And obviously, John Wick 2, both saying both big fans of the franchise. I think John Wick 2 just adds up on what we had with the first one. It's John Wick. I mean, Keanu Reeves is fantastic. I think he just. I think if this is his resurgence, and I think like I compare it a bit to like Taken with Liam Neeson, where it's a franchise where he kind of like found his ground again as an actor and really found himself as like one of the top actors in Hollywood. But whereas look at the Taken ones, I feel like after the first one, they really dipped in form. Whereas John Wick, for me, they just went better, and they were all equally as good as each other. I don't know if you feel the same way, but
I reckon they're constantly consistent.
They just up the ante, don't they?
Each one. The kills are more brutal.
Yeah,
I've never known an assassin who uses so many bullets. He shoots them once, and then to make sure they're dead, he shoots them again, then runs out of bullets, and
it's unreal. It's unreal, buddy. Then he
kills them with a pencil.
Well, yeah. I mean, we see this in the movie. We see the pencil killing in this movie. That's unreal. Actually, I think you heard them like reference a story of John Wick killing someone with a pencil previously, and then in this movie he actually does it, and it's just like it's phenomenal. You see the effects, but like you said, the shootings. It's like you said, it's just a shot a second. It's like boom, 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 boom.
Yeah,
and
they shoot him twice. That's what
yeah. I say
he's got a shotgun. He's got a shotgun. Once had been enough, wouldn't it?
Oh yeah, not for John Wick though. Not for John Wick. It's unreal. It's unreal, mate. I mean, some great scenes. We won't go too deep into the action scenes, but I mean, just throughout this movie, I think you could say it's hard to pick one scene over the other for the action scenes. I feel in this because there's so many great action scenes that all flow into one, and then you get really good dialogue as well in between. Because I think he's just a really good character as well. He's like this stoic character, and he's like this guy he obviously got out of the game of being an assassin, but then he got pulled in the first movie because, like we see at the start, because his dog get killed and he like stole his car and stuff. And I think it's just a great movie. I think Keanu Reeves, I like him in like movies like Point Break and stuff like that, and The Matrix. But these, I think, are my favorite movies with Keanu Reeves now, definitely.
Yeah. So have you seen the new Matrix yet?
I have, and I know you've not. Have you watched it now? Because I know you were going to watch it, wasn't you?
I'm going to watch it later on today. I bought it a couple of days ago.
Yeah, I mean, I won't spoil it, but I wasn't a massive fan of that movie. I thought it was just I feel like it was a movie where they just done it for the money, and they didn't really. That was all it was for, this movie, and it was they went for like this very, without spoiling it too much, like a meta sequel, which is kind of weird for The Matrix. And I don't know what you've heard of it, but I don't know. I think I've
heard they tried to copy the first one.
Yeah, it does. It copies the first one a lot, yeah. And I think you might like it though, because I know people do like that movie. I was on Pete's stream the other night, and I think it might have been Mike Cinemaraxman, Mike. I'm sure he said he enjoyed that movie. But I think some people will like it. Some people, like myself, will probably. I felt I was just kind of like, I feel like I wasted my time watching it, and I watched it. I was just like, this is nothing really happened. It didn't feel like it progressed the story from the original trilogy for me.
Yeah.
And maybe I don't know whether they're going to do more later down the line if it made enough money, but who knows? But I'd be interested to see what your thoughts are.
I'm sure if it's made enough, I'd reckon they'll do another one.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That always seems to be the case now, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. But let's go back to this desert island choice. What would you like to? You're on an airplane. You get your pilot's license, Shaun. You're on an airplane, and something hits your airplane. You crash on a desert island. You're sitting there. You've got some crabs to eat, some coconuts, and you've got a DVD player, a portable DVD player with solar energy power on it, where you can watch a movie of your choice. And you've only got one choice to take on this island. It's either Attack of the Clones or John Wick 2. What would be your movie of choice, and why?
I'd go John Wick 2.
Why would you pick John Wick 2?
Because I like the fast action and the storyline and the progression of it. Whereas I found the Star Wars was a bit slow.
Right.
Plodded along, and there's a lot of stuff in there that didn't really need to be in there.
Fair enough.
But yeah, so I'd go John Wick 2 because I like the action. I like that sort of stuff anyway, more than.
Well, you know what I would have said? I've watched these two this morning. I would have initially said Attack of the Clones, but for the reasons being, Star Wars, I'm a big Star Wars fan. Get me Star Wars fix while I'm on this desert island on my own. But I think watching this back, and I think I would have enjoyed that more because it's more like a light-hearted more movie, Star Wars. It's not as heavy as John Wick. There's not as many killings as. But I think watching John Wick 2, I just I look at that movie and I just think it's just so well done. The story's really well sculpted throughout. The plot's really engaging, and even though it's a kind of a heavy movie and something I might not necessarily want to have day to day on an island, I think out of them two movies, I would say John Wick 2 is definitely the stronger of those. So
yeah, I think Star Wars, the Attack of the Clones, feels more like a filler movie, doesn't it?
That's what I mean. I'm
like with John Wick, apart from the ending, you could say it could stand up on its own, really.
Definitely. I think if it was more like an Empire Strikes Back, I would have been like, it would have been Empire. But I think John Wick for me also wins it over. So far, we've not come to blows on any choices.
Not yet.
We're doing well. We've both got our judgment cards still ready, our invisible judgment cards. But I'm happy to put John Wick 2 through to the next round. Shaun, are you happy with that?
Sounds good.
Fantastic.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Scratch that off. So now we go to the final of bracket B, Deadpool 2 versus Back to the Future 2. Now, again, both of these movies, Back to the Future, big Back to the Future fan I am. Deadpool, I really enjoyed the first movie, and I've rewatched Deadpool 2 recently. And Back to the Future, I think it's just one of those movies. I know the plot, I've watched it that many times. You're probably the same, Shaun.
Yeah, that's it.
But we're going to score this one on the best sequel. So it's going to be, what is the better sequel out of these? So what do you think works as a better sequel? It works well as a continuation to the story of the first movie. So we have Deadpool 2. Let's start off with Deadpool 2. What do you think of this movie? This was one of your picks, Shaun. What makes this a special movie for you?
Yeah, I really liked it. I think it was like an upgrade from the first one. Although the first one was a good movie, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
The second one, I think it ups it a little bit more with Ryan Reynolds' character, and plus you get extra characters now with the X Squad.
X-Force.
Domino and Peter.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's some great, and then you've got Josh Brolin, who we all know as Thanos. He comes in as Cable.
He's good as Cable. I did enjoy him.
And these are both time travel movies, aren't they? Really, they both got the element of time travel in them. I suppose Back to the Future more so was a more time travel movie, but there's definitely time travel elements in this story. So Deadpool 2, do you like it? Do you think it works as a good sequel? Is it, or do you think it's like more of a standalone movie? How do you feel?
There's a slight progression in the sequel, isn't there? But it could. I think it could go as a standalone.
I feel like for me, I think it's a really good movie. I think it feels like the characters progressed a bit.
Yeah, they tried to make it a bit more outrageous, didn't they, than the first one?
Yeah, I mean, and the first one was pretty outrageous. I mean, that was a fun, outrageous movie. But
yeah,
I think like as a sequel goes, I feel like there's not as many ties. So like, I mean, we have the character of Vanessa, his girlfriend.
Yeah.
Obviously, she's probably like the biggest tie, and then you've got like, I suppose you could say with the X-Men themselves, you know, they're still trying to get him to do better things and be a better person.
Yeah.
And he's still just doing bad things and being a bad person. And it's I suppose that they are the ties to, you know, making this a continuation of that story of Deadpool. And I suppose the continuation is just like him. How is he going to be a better person? And that's like the plot of this movie. Really, is like, is he going to do good to save this kid Russell, who's like the villain of the piece, really? But yeah, great movie. I think it's a top film. I think Josh Brolin is a standout for me as well.
Yeah. So I don't know when they're on about making a third one, aren't they? But I don't know. I think Disney are on about doing another one. Yeah,
it'll be interesting to see. And if they return some of them characters as well, like you said, Domino and Peter as well of the X-Force.
Yeah.
But then we got Back to the Future on the other side.
That's just an awesome film, Back to the Future.
You like big fan of the trilogy, Shaun?
Oh, I love the trilogy. Yeah, it's one of the first few films I can remember watching and growing up on.
Yeah, superb. What's your favorite? Which one's your favorite of the trilogy?
The first one, I reckon, is my favorite.
Yeah.
It probably goes in order. To be fair, it probably goes 1, 2, and then 3.
Yeah, I think they're all great, aren't they?
But I do like the third one. I like the old Western element to it, and the fact that Doc Brown's in the past and he sends a letter to say he's. It gets confusing, doesn't it? At some point.
I feel like that with certain movies, like the plots as well. Like I feel like the stories just all like kind of like go into one, and you're like, did that happen in the first movie, or was that the second? Or you're like, where are you with the timeline? And especially with Back to the Future as well, you're like, I can't remember which one's which now.
Yeah.
But I love the Back to the Future trilogy as well. Like yourself, Shaun, I think the fantastic trilogy. And I think let's focus in on, you know, Back to the Future 2, especially now. We've got, this is kind of like it ties in really well, and they tie in super well. It feels like a TV show for me. Like an extended TV show where all the stories, and literally the end of the first movie is the start of the second movie, isn't it?
Yeah, it feels like one long movie, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. I mean, I could easily watch that in a supercut. But what would be the better sequel for you? I mean, how do you feel? What's your better sequel?
I think as a sequel, I think Back to the Future 2 is better. As a sequel for Deadpool 2, that could stand on its own.
More of a standalone movie.
That's more of a standalone type movie.
Yeah,
although it's got some sequel elements to it, but
yeah, I agree. I'm going to agree again. I think Back to the Future 2, it is a phenomenal movie. I think it just ties in to the first movie so well. Marty, you're gonna go back to the future. And I love the ending of the movie as well, where he's went from the past and he's like, I'm back from the future. I think that's just a boss scene. I love that. But it's Back to the Future 2, definitely the better sequel. I think it just adds more to this trilogy. It prolongs the stories, continue well, they progress even more.
I like the ending of number 2 as well, because where he gives him a letter saying, I'm in the past, and here's where the DeLorean's parked. And then
exactly. Well, even that though, Shaun, that works well. Again, it works as better sequel for the third movie, because it kind of like lays the foundations, doesn't it, for the third movie as well. So I think it's just an excellent film and well worth checking out. I mean, if you've never watched Back to the Future before, check it out. Back to the Future is phenomenal. I think, so are we better sequel? We're happy to go ahead with Back to the Future 2?
Yeah, definitely.
Fantastico. Let's go. So now we have, going into the semi-finals, the first semi-final will be Terminator 2 versus Star Trek Into Darkness. The second semi-final will be John Wick 2 versus Back to the Future Part 2. Just want to go to some of the live comments as well. Feel free to add, if you're in the chat, if you're in the live chat, or if you're in the replay chat, to add your comments, what you feel are the better choices with all these matches. Looking at the live comments now, we've got a few people in. We've got Playtendoguy Pete is in the chat. He says, "Afternoon, gents. How are you?" He's currently in a queue at Sainsbury's, but he's going to check the full playback later on. And he said, "Great to be back, Shaun." So he's great to see you back. I echo that
Pete.
thought as well.
Thank you, Pete.
Good to see you in the comments, Pete. Playtendoguy. We also have Ben, aka Rider Rated 18, in the chat as well. How you doing, Ben? Hope you're both doing well today. He said, "Afternoon, chaps," and he said, "I remember watching Back to the Future Part 2 and 3 in the cinema, 89 to 90." I would have watched it on VHS. I'll be honest with you, the first viewing.
Yeah, mine would have been VHS as well. Yeah,
but I imagine it would have been. I mean, I'd love to know what your thoughts are, what the feeling was when you were watching that at the cinema, Ben, and anyone else out there. Let me know what your thoughts are. Did you experience Back to the Future? What was it? What was your first experience of Back to the Future? Was it at the cinema, VHS, DVD, Blu-ray, 4K? Let me know your first experience and how you felt watching the movies the first time, especially when you go to that sequel. How did you feel about the sequel? Obviously, there was some recastings as well in the Back to the Future Part 2. There was
is it Jennifer?
Yeah, and the dad as well. He was recast, wasn't he? Was it Crispin Glover was taken out?
I think he had a dispute, didn't he, with the producers?
Something like that. Yeah, I remember reading something like that. But great movies.
Was it Elizabeth Shue, wasn't it? That she became Jennifer. Is it Jennifer?
Yeah, that's correct. She's the actress out of The Boys, isn't she? She's in The Boys TV show. She's what else is she in as well? She was in Karate Kid as well.
Karate Kid, Cocktail.
Yeah, she's been in loads. Absolutely loads.
Adventures of Babysitting's a good one if you've never seen that.
I've heard that mentioned recently. I'm going to watch that. There's that's one I'm interested.
That's a very funny movie.
I'll have to check that one out, buddy. So we are now on to the semi-finals. The first semi-final, Terminator 2 versus Star Trek Into Darkness. Now, I've not told you, Shaun, in advance what we're going to go for the scoring on this one. So I was thinking of this. How do you feel about doing a best high-scoring moment? We choose like our favorite scene of each movie, and are you happy to do that, Shaun?
Yeah. Okay.
Right. So first of all, let's go with Terminator 2. This was your choice. Mine was Star Trek 2. So we kind of come into blows here. We've put our movie sequels to the test.
Yeah.
Terminator 2. What is your favorite scene of Terminator
2? I like the bit where he rescues Sarah Connor from the asylum,
Yeah.
and she sees him for the first time and thinks that she's out to kill him and stuff like that, and the tension builds up.
Yeah.
I like that scene. That's a pretty good scene. And then you've got Robert Patrick coming in to trying to chase them down.
It's
And then plus they've got there's a bit more little bit of a comedic element to it where he looks at him as like a father figure,
yeah.
and he's always learning and puts the sunglasses on and tries to act cool.
Yeah, and when he's teaching him all the words and stuff.
Yeah, and does he has to obey him, tell him what to do, so he hops on one leg and stands on one leg and stuff like that, telling him not to kill anybody.
It's boss. It's and like you said again, it's that turn from the first one of him being the villain, and it obviously ties into you saying that scene with Sarah Connor where she sees him for the first time and she thinks it's this guy from the first movie who was, trying to kill her, and it was like, going all out to kill her. And now, can you imagine that? Like she sees the face of this guy again. How does she trust him? And that's a thread throughout the movies. Can she trust him? She doesn't feel probably like super safe around him.
Yeah.
I think that's a great scene. How do you feel about the car chase scene, like the bike chase?
Yeah, that's a pretty good scene. I don't mind that.
Yeah.
There's quite a few scenes really. I mean, like you got the bit where he's at the house with the machine gun, going against the helicopters and all the police, and everyone shoots them all in the legs and stuff because he's not allowed to kill anybody.
It's one of those movies. It's just got loads of awesome scenes.
Yeah.
I mean, on the other side of it, then we got Star Trek Into Darkness. Any standout moments for you on this one?
I like the end scene. Where Kirk is the one that supposedly dies.
Right, because this leads into like the fight, does it, between Spock and Khan?
Yeah. See, because in the original that flips, it's Spock that's in the other side.
Right. Okay.
It's a 40-year-old movie now, so I can't spoil it. So
I've seen that scene where like you said, and then it goes into the funerals and it of Spock's funeral.
Yeah, because then they go into the next film, which is the search for Spock.
Yeah. Does he find him? Does he find Spock?
Yeah, it's based on the Genesis planet that they're doing.
That's
what I mean. You have to watch the stuff to
know.
Yeah.
I would say, do you like the opening scene of that movie as well, where they're going onto that strange planet and it's kind of like they're going on like an exploration like mission? Do you know the scene I'm on about?
Yeah, it's been a little while since I've seen it, but there's quite a few good scenes. And
so they go on this planet, and it's like these alien creatures. They've got like this, like it's this just cool opening, like an 8-minute opening scene where they're escaping with like this artifact, and then they're jumping on to the Enterprise, and then there's like this big volcano scene, and it's just all out action. It's just a really, and it obviously goes into that theme song of the new Star Trek theme, and I think it really is a really good scene, plays well. But I think I think that is a strong scene within the movie, the one you mentioned though, with the end with Kirk's death.
Yeah,
and I think for me that leads into that action scene then where
that's a good action scene. I think with the new Star Trek movies, you see more of the worlds, like the Earth and stuff like that, than you did in the originals and the remakes and stuff like that. You get to see the worlds a bit more, like Earth and stuff like that, a bit more clear.
Yeah, no, I mean, from what I've only watched a bit of it, but like it definitely looks, it feels like that, like they've expanded on what Star Trek is really. It feels like they went for more like, let's just show more of this and show more. It feels like, this is J.J. Abrams trying to do Star Trek meets Star Wars more so.
Because they're on about making the next one now, aren't they? The fourth one.
Yeah, I'll be happy to see it. I mean, I thought the third one wasn't as good for me. I didn't think it was as good. I felt like they were just trying to do a Guardians of the Galaxy ripoff at times. Like they were adding like the music in it. It just didn't feel as like the first two were pretty solid for me. But I'd be interested to see this cast return because I think it's just a solid cast. I think it's a great cast of characters. They got some really good names in there, and I think a fourth movie would well deserved. I'm excited to see that. But I mean, best high scoring moment. Should we go with the car? Obviously, that scene of Kirk dying as the scene to represent Star Trek Into Darkness.
Yeah, or the fight scene between Khan and Scott.
Well, let's go for let's go for that scene. And obviously, you said the escape of Linda Hamilton, Sarah Connor in Terminator 2. Which your favorite scene though? Which one would you say is the best out of those two, Shaun?
Action wise, I'd go Star Trek, but more emotional and driven. I think Terminator 2, because where she sees him for the first time, and so it's a tough one.
I'm gonna say, even though I picked Star Trek 2 Into Darkness, I'm gonna go with Terminator 2 purely because I think the emotional weight that you referenced with that scene where she sees him for the first time and it's this guy who's trying to kill her. That's my pick. I don't. What do you want to go with, Shaun? You've still got your judgment card if you want to change the choice.
I'd go Terminator just for the fact that it's got that scene and it's got a lot of more iconic scenes in it than Star Trek.
Yeah.
So I'd go Terminator 2 too.
Yeah. Well, let's see. So Terminator 2 goes to the finals of Clash of the Movie Sequels 2022, the pay-per-view show today. Let's just go back to some of the live comments. We got Ben again in the comments. He's referencing, obviously, Back to the Future. He said, wow, just wow. The sequel was so anticipated. It felt like a real event. And for part 2 to end on a cliffhanger was quite bold back then. And part 3 was, again, superb on the big screen. And he's also said about Terminator 2, Ben has rated 18. The truck chase down the truck chase, that scene, the truck chase scene on the bike, and then he's in the truck, which leads on from the scene where he's in the arcade. I agree completely with Ben. Is a phenomenal scene as well. That would have been another scene I had a few scenes written down. That was definitely one that I really like. I think it's just incredible. One of the best sequels ever made, without sort of like going too far forward in today's competition. But Terminator 2 is a phenomenal movie. I did a thing on Facebook when I first found out I was doing this, and I put, what are your favorite sequels? And there was almost, I think there's just one person that didn't put it up, but I think Terminator 2 and Aliens came up as well. Being the most popular. Another great movie. Let's move on to the second semi-final, the John Wick 2 versus Back to the Future 2. And what's been, just in general with sequels, who's been a character that you've really enjoyed in a sequel movie? What would you say? Is there a particular character you think about in sequels that you have enjoyed the most in any movie, Shaun?
I think a lot of the comic book stuff is like the evolution of some certain characters, and of course you've got Star Wars where you got Anakin Skywalker's evolution. I like the progression instead of being the same all the time. They progress all the time.
Yeah, his character's an interest, and especially I think if you look at the OG trilogies as well, the way Darth Vader changes from that to Empire Strikes Back, it feels like a really different. I think in the first one, I remember reading something like saying that they never initially intended for him to be the father of Luke, and there was going to be no ties originally because it was just going to be like a standalone movie. And when you watch it going in with that thought, it feels you could think of it just like that, and then obviously you watch Empire and it completely changes the game, doesn't it? To the character, but Anakin, like you said, from Anakin to Vader, and especially in the prequel trilogies, his character changes from like Phantom Menace to Attack of the Clones. He's like obviously grows 10 years, very different, and then to Revenge of the Sith, where he becomes like a psychopath who's just really easily led, manipulated.
Have you watched any of the Clone Wars cartoons?
I've watched the first couple, maybe like the first season of the Clone Wars.
I think I've watched some of the last season. I think when Osaka's in it.
Yeah, well, have you watched some of the live action stuff with her as well now, Shaun?
Yeah, from Boba Fett and The Mandalorian. Yeah, she's Rosario Dawson.
Yeah, I think it's really cool the way they're tying it all together. I think it's awesome like what they're doing now. And the Clone Wars, like I've only watched a few episodes, but from what I watched of it, it looks like a really fun show. It's one I really need to dig deeper into and,
Yeah,
and
because I
definitely
want to
watch.
watch it because I've got Rebels. I've managed to get them on Blu-ray for
Right, okay.
really cheap at a charity shop, but I still haven't watched them yet.
Have they all been released on physical media now, Shaun?
I don't know if they all have. I don't know how many seasons they did, but I managed to get I think 4 seasons on Blu-ray.
That's pretty good.
So I don't know if that's all of them or
yeah. I know with the Clone Wars, because I've been looking into buying them, and I think there's the majority. I think like the last 2 seasons maybe are not on physical media release as of yet, because they went to Disney Plus, didn't they, straight away, and it was like they were relaunched on Disney Plus. Like, was it the last season or 2 or something like that? I remember.
Yeah,
something like
I
that.
think the last season, I think
yeah,
I think the last season was relaunched.
Yeah, well, that was it, the last season. But anyway, let's go to the second semi-final, and we have John Wick 2 versus Back to the Future Part 2. What would you like to pick as the scoring for this round, Shaun? We've got Desert Island choice, best high-scoring moments, best character. What would you prefer? I'll let you take the floor with this one. What would you like to go for?
We can go best character if you like.
Best character? I'm happy to do that. Yeah, definitely. Let's go for it and let's see. John Wick 2. Let's start with John Wick 2. Oh, go on.
Yeah. We can go best supporting character because I think John Wick's going to be the obvious one.
All right. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Okay. Best supporting character in John Wick. Well, let's go with Back to the Future Part 2. Best supporting character. It's got to be Doc Brown, isn't it? I suppose.
Got to be Doc Brown. Yeah. Yeah, it's got to be Doc Brown.
Superb,
Yeah.
Character to Marty. He's just a kind of like a wise character, but also just absolutely bonkers at the same time. He's
yeah,
but he's like the steadying ground for Marty throughout that movie. Super. I love Christopher Lloyd. I think he's fantastic. He's actually going to be featuring in the next season of the Mandalorian.
Oh, my internet's go.
Oh, it's okay. We're back, Shaun. We're all good.
Sorry, my internet's starting to flutter.
Don't worry, buddy. Don't worry. We'll just keep on going. We'll keep on fighting through, mate. I can see you. You're still running smoothly. I've got you in pristine
I'm on 4G
HD.
now. Yeah, I'm on 4G now. Oh, it's flickering back onto the Wi-Fi.
Don't worry, buddy. We'll keep on going. We'll be fine. We'll get through. As long as you can hear me fine. Yep.
Yeah.
Superb. So obviously Doc Brown for Back to the Future Part 2. And John Wick, who would you say is the best supporting character in that one?
I like as the proprietor of the old Continental manager. I think he's really good. I liked him in this.
Fantastic choice. Obviously, he's at the end of the movie. We see his character, putting a hit out on John Wick, but he also gives him time, doesn't he? To throughout this movie, he's trying to help John. He's kind of like helping him, and he feels reluctant to put out a hit at the end, but you have to obviously respect the rules of the Continental, this assassin's hotel. And it feels like at the end where he feels like it's, weighs heavy on him having to do that choice to put out a hit on John Wick, but he has to do it to upkeep his ruling. So you got obviously Ian McShane is a great actor as well as as Christopher Lloyd. Both superb supporting cast members in the stories. What would you say is the best supporting character, though, Shaun, out of those two?
I think it has to be Doc Brown.
Doc Brown?
I think Doc Brown, definitely.
I am going to say equally. I mean, just because I love that movie. I like John Wick. I think Ian McShane is fantastic. But yeah, Doc Brown, Christopher Lloyd, he's just an iconic character. He's, a great supporting character to Marty. The duo of them two on screen is just magnificent. I think they're just like they connect to each other really well. They just like, I know they had an original guy, wasn't they? Had what was the actor's name in the first one? They had an original guy playing Marty before they had.
I can't remember. I see the documentary as well. I can't think of his name.
He was in that thingy, the Butterfly Effect. I can't think of his name as
Oh,
well.
Ashton Kutcher.
Well, it was that movie, but I mean, he was like he was like the dad in that movie.
Oh,
He was like
Eric Schultz.
That's it. Yeah, you
Eric
got it.
Schultz.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
Obviously, they weren't working. By the sounds that they probably weren't working as well together. He just didn't work
Yeah.
well as the role of Marty as well.
Yeah, I remember seeing the behind the scenes documentaries they've done. They've done that Back in Time documentary as well, didn't they?
I've not seen that. Is it worth watching?
Yeah, it's really good. If you like the movies, and yeah, it's really.
I'll have to check that. I'll have to check that out. Definitely.
Yeah, back in Time. I think it's called. Yeah.
It's a good title. It's a good title.
Yeah.
So we're happy for Back to the Future. That's gonna John Wick with heavy heart goes out of the competition today of Clash of the Movie sequels.
I love that movie.
Same here. I kind of like was looking at it and I was thinking these are probably going to be the two going to go to the finals. So we've got Terminator 2 versus Back to the Future 2 in the final of today's Clash of the Movie sequels, the pay-per-view episode. Going to go to the live comments just quickly as well, Shaun. We've got the Lone Wolf 706. That is John in the comments. Hi, AP. Who's the guest today? Well, I will say, John, the guest is Shaun Quarterman, Media Collector Madness. Definitely check out the replay if you're not checked out the full show. But Shaun has got an awesome channel on YouTube and he's also on Instagram as well. And he's, awesome member of this community as well. And it's awesome to see people in the comments as well in the Movie Cheer Town community. I was so happy today to open the Movie Cheer Town welcome gate, Shaun.
The welcome gate, not the forbidden door, then.
It's not the forbidden door. It's the Movie Cheer Town welcome gate to let welcome Shaun onto the show, and hopefully we'll be doing more of these sort of like live chats and more collaborations throughout the year. Definitely, I'm enjoying this episode so far. But yeah, it's Shaun as the guest today, John. We've also got Ben again, Rider Rated 18. Ben, he said, Biff all the way. Biff is a great villain.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Butthead, he's referencing some of the line, and he obviously mentions Eric Stoltz as that villain. Yeah. Both John, Lone Wolf 706, and Rider Rated 18. Awesome members of the community, the Movie Cheer Town community. Also, both have great... Lone Wolf is on YouTube, great channel. Rider Rated 18. Ben is on Instagram. We're going to be doing something with Ben soon, and he's got a fantastic Instagram. Have you checked out his Instagram, Shaun?
Yeah, I follow Rider 18. Who was the other guy?
Lone Wolf 706, another awesome guy. His name's John. Awesome,
I should check him out. I don't think I subscribe to him, so I should check his channel.
Another cool member of our community here, and everyone is welcome in this community, and it's always cool to see people commenting on any videos in the live chat or in the comments on the replay of these sort of videos. Let's move on to the final of today's pay-per-view episode anyway. Terminator 2 versus Back to the Future Part 2. Let me know in the live comments and on the comments in general, what do you think is the worthy winner? What is going to be your picks as the winner of this competition today? I was thinking for this one, what do you think? Do you reckon Desert Island choice really does it?
Desert Island, yeah.
So, I mean, again,
it's a toughie.
it really is. I mean, it's that thing. If you're on a desert island, do you want that movie that's a bit more lighthearted, or do you want a heavier movie? Because here you've got a lighthearted one with Back to the Future Part 2.
Yeah, and then you've got the more action oriented and more
Terminator 2. Terminator 2 was your choice. Back to the Future Part 2 was my choice, I believe. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's it. Worked out well, didn't it?
It's worked out. We cannot use judgment cards in this one.
Right,
I think we have to agree on what the Desert Island choice is. You're on a desert island, Shaun. What would be the movie that you want to watch over and over again, and why?
See, the problem is they're both nostalgic, so you could watch them. You could watch them both over and over again.
Yeah.
But if, for a more lighter side, I'd go Back to the Future 2.
Right.
But Terminator has been classed as probably one of the greatest sequels of all time.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I think they're both here, both worthy contenders for that Clash of the Movie sequels prize that obviously you know, and filmmakers, when they were making this movie, they were thinking 30 years in the future. They were hoping that they were going to get a title of Clash of the Movie sequels. They were so excited. I agree, though. I think Terminator 2 is an awesome movie. Back to the Future Part 2, though, I could rewatch that on its own, even though it's part of that continuation of the story. I could watch it over and over again.
Yeah,
I think it's just a fun movie. The scenes just make me, you know, happier when I'm watching, like the scenes with the hoverboard scene, for instance.
yeah,
It just made me dead happy watching them scenes. It's just like a great moment in movie history. And Terminator 2 has that, but I think for me, I always drift towards Back to the Future if I'm looking at the movie collection.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So I think my choice is Back to the Future Part 2. Your choice is definitely, you're going for Back to the Future Part 2 as well?
I'm gonna go Back to the Future Part 2 just for nostalgia, and there's a lot more comedic scenes and stuff in it. I'm a big comedy fan.
Well, that has been decided. The judge, the jury, and the executioners of Clash of the Movie sequels on today's episode, Shaun and myself, we have decided that Back to the Future Part 2 wins the title of Clash of the Movie sequels today. It was. I think, again, Terminator, these are all great sequels. Terminator 2 is again, picked by yourself, Shaun, but a great pick. I really enjoy that movie on rewatching it, and obviously rewatching it over the years as well.
Yeah,
but Back to the Future 2 is phenomenal. I think a lot of people would say that is probably one of their favorite sequels, isn't it?
I like the fact that the Back to the Future, they stopped at 3 and then they left it alone, whereas with Terminator they just kept going and it
killed
the character down and diluted it. So Salvation wasn't too bad, but I think the rest of the after Terminator 2, like Terminator 3 and I think Genesis and Dark Fate, I think it's been diluted enough now, isn't it?
See, I've not seen them last two, but I agree. Like Salvation, I think that was a good one. But I think, like you said, it's been done too many times. The same.
They keep redoing the timeline and stuff, and it just gets confusing.
Yeah, it just, like you said, it's too watered down now. I think it's, like you said, Back to the Future.
Back to the Future, they've done 3 and they've stuck with 3. And
do you think we'll ever see? Do you think we'll ever see any type of continuations of that on like live action?
I don't know. I reckon. Well, if they do, it'll be their kids and stuff that get into it. I don't think you'd see Christopher Lloyd or Michael J. Fox unless they do a little cameo.
I never want to see a remake. I just want it to be left
in
a time capsule forever, never be remade or like no extras.
It's one of those films, isn't it, that you don't want to touch because they're perfect as they are. It's 3 films. You know where they are, know where you stand with them.
Yeah, definitely. It's but then, you know, what if they come out with like a Cobra Kai type show, something like that, and it's like it's amazing. You know what? They could do that one day, couldn't they? Like some sort of like spin-off.
I suppose they could do a TV show.
Yeah,
but I don't think it'd be the same.
I think I don't mind them doing something like that, but maybe it would have to be a completely set of new characters. It would have to be kind of like on its own canon. Yeah. But yeah, I'd rather see, you know, let's leave Back to the Future as a perfect movie and leave it in history as an awesome sequel. But anyway, that is the headline topic over for today's show. We move on with the rest of the show, and we're going to move to a section of the show called Movies for the Weekend. This is part of the show where we give some recommendations for this weekend. I've got 2 picks. Have you got any picks, Shaun? What would you recommend?
I've gone for 2, and I've carried on with the sequel idea. So
fantastic! Oh yeah, that's awesome.
So I've gone for Dawn of the Planet of the Apes.
Superb movie.
I mentioned earlier, brilliant film.
Great film. Yeah, really good.
So it's hard to decide which ones are my favourite out of the 3. But I think they've been consistently, like John Wick, they've been consistently good.
Yeah, I agree with that. That was directed by the guy who Matt Reeves, who directed the new Batman movie as well. He done that one on the 3rd one, didn't he? What else have you got, Shaun?
And my second pick was Horrible Bosses 2.
Right, okay. I've seen the first one. I really enjoyed the first one. I've not seen that one.
Second one's good. It's got Chris Pine in the second one.
Fantastic.
That's worth watching. If you've seen the first one, obviously watch the first one first.
That is ace. I love the continuation of the sequel thread as well. I didn't really think about that myself, but I've got one here. That's Beverly Hills Cop. I've got a collection here, but
brilliant.
I'd say part 2 for that one as well is a great movie, and I've got another one as well. I know I'm not really into these Arrow Video. Arrow Video, are you a fan, Shaun? Have you ever collected any of these?
It's like Criterion. I don't collect any of those.
Same here. I've not gone into it, and it's not to say I won't in the future. Maybe
if I see something cheap enough, then I'll probably pick it up.
Yeah, I mean,
CEX has got like a RoboCop Arrow. I think it's about £8 at the moment.
Yeah. So I stand in the same camp as you. I'm like, if it goes to, if I can get it for good value, I'll definitely pick them up in the future. Well, they were doing like a thing on Instagram, and the guys on Playtendoguy stream the other night mentioned they put a teaser for a new release, and it was like a maze, and they were maybe saying it could have been Labyrinth, and it just think of like how cool Labyrinth was with David Bowie and Jennifer Connelly, and that is my second pick. So awesome picks from Shaun. Horrible Bosses 2 and Dawn. Was it Dawn of the Planet of the Apes? Was it?
Yeah, that's it.
Great picks and some more picks there. Let me know what you're watching this weekend as well in the comments. Let's just go to the comments before we get to the next segment of the show. We've got Ben, Rider Rated 18. He's saying both are superb sequels, referring to Terminator 2 and Back to the Future. But Terminator 2 takes it as it's near perfect. So he's picking Terminator 2, Ben, Rider Rated 18. I think, you know what, it's a close call between them two movies, and I think some people will choose Terminator 2, some will choose Back to the Future Part 2.
That's whatever people like, isn't it? That's what I like with movies. Everyone has their own opinions on stuff. That's
why it's awesome, mate. That is why it's awesome. Ben's also said Beverly Hills Cop 2 is solid, very well directed by Tony Scott, and the score is by Harold Faltermeyer. Is dynamic. I don't know if I'm butchering that name, but maybe I am. I don't know. I agree, though. Superb sequel. The first movie is great. Back to the Beverly Hills Cop 2 is equally as good.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's move on to the next section of the show. Next part of the show, at the end of every month, we do a movie of the month. I've mentioned this to you in advance. Sonic, the first Sonic movie. What do you feel about that movie, Shaun? Do you like it?
I enjoyed the first Sonic movie. Being a big fan of the games and stuff, I thought it was really good. Yeah. I thought Jim Carrey was awesome in it.
He was ace.
And judging by the second trailers that I've seen for the second movie, I think he's going to be even better.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's going to be...
Now he actually looks like Robotnik.
Yeah, they got the look, haven't they? Now they've got it down to a T. I'm looking forward to that. And you've got obviously the new one coming out soon with the Tails coming in there and Knuckles played by Idris Elba.
That's going to be interesting with Idris Elba being the voice of Knuckles.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait. But yeah, Sonic, the first Sonic movie is the movie of the month, Movie Cheertown movie of the month this month. I think it's a really good family entertainment movie. I think it's one for everyone to enjoy. Yeah, I think it's just one you can chill out to.
Yeah, and they've done the post for like the PlayStation, like the Mega Drive game, haven't they? They've reenacted the post of the game.
I think that it'd be nice to see what else they put in from the game. Like if they put a few more little elements from the game in there as well.
Yeah, because I noticed they got the airplane in it and with Tails flying it.
I can't wait. I can't wait for that one. Is that coming out? That's coming out this month, or is it next month? Is it? Or
I think it's next month. I think it's. I can't remember the date. I know it's next month, I think.
But anyway, that is a movie of the month for this month. Now we move on to the next section of the show. We're going to go to the Amazon Top 10 now. And the Amazon Top 10 for this week, I'm just going to run through it and then we'll discuss the movie, Shaun. We got a number 10. This is Amazon Top 10 in physical media sales, DVD, Blu-ray, and 4K. We've got at number 10, the Blu-ray of No Time to Die, James Bond. At number 9, we have Dune, the Blu-ray. At number 8, we have the DVD of Dune. At number 7, we have Matrix Resurrections, a DVD. You mentioned that. Was it a DVD you picked up, Shaun?
Yeah, DVD, yeah.
Yeah. And we have, same again, number 6, the Blu-ray of Matrix Resurrections. At number 5, we have DVD of West Side Story, Steven Spielberg's West Side Story. That's been in the top 10 for the past couple of weeks now. I've still not seen that. Have you seen it, Shaun?
No, I haven't. I want to see it. I haven't seen the original either. Whether it's worth watching the original, whether it's worth.
I'm the same. I've never seen it. Number 4, we have the DVD of No Time to Die. No Time to Die was holding that number 1 slot for so long, and it's still
Great
in the
film.
top 5. Yeah, really, really good movie. Number 3 is Disney's Encanto, the DVD. I think it's a really fun film. Have you seen that one?
Yeah, I've got that.
And at number 2, we have the DVD of Spider-Man No Way Home. It's not out as of yet. It's come out next month. I believe it's on the 5th or 4th of the 5th. And at number 1, we have the Blu-ray of Spider-Man No Way Home. What's some of the movies that stand out there in the top 10, Shaun? Are you a big fan of like Dune or what ones?
I brought Dune on DVD, but I still haven't watched it. That's my problem. I've got so much stuff to watch.
Yeah. Not enough time, mate. We all feel the same problem, and we all buy too many movies.
I got a backlog.
Yeah, we've all gone.
So June's supposed to be good, but I think because it's a 2-part. Is it a 2-parter or a 3-parter? Because I think
I have no idea. I think they're on about doing a three parts, but I think they're filming the second part now. So whether they do, I suppose it depends how successful they are. These movies. Yeah. I wasn't super keen on the first Dune, but I think it feels like it needs a second part to make more of it make sense for me personally. Anyway.
Yeah. No Time to Die was a good shout. I like that one.
Yeah, I think definitely that one, No Time to Die, is fantastic. Was it a good end for you as for Daniel Craig?
I liked it. It was a well-rounded ending because the start of Daniel Craig's Bond is when he first began his 007 thing, wasn't it? Yeah. He got his kills.
So
it ties it all together, tied it nicely.
Definitely does. So that's the Amazon top 10 over for today's show. Before we move on to another segment of the show, we're going to just look into today's live comments again. Rider Rated 18 said, full credit to Paramount, the company producing the new Sonic movies, Sonic and Sonic 2. Full credit to Paramount for the Sonic movies. So for once, the studio listened to the constructive criticism after the first trailer and fixed Sonic's look to make him more look the way he should. Yeah. Can you remember that first trailer, Shaun?
Yeah, they changed him drastically, didn't they?
Looking back now, it was pretty bad, wasn't it? Like, the look of him, it wasn't.
There was rumors and that they did it on purpose to get people to. They was originally going to be like that. Yeah, I've read that somewhere. I can't remember where I read it. Whether it's true or not, I don't know. But they reckon it was to get the fans' reaction and stuff like that.
You know what? That could be true because they changed it pretty easily, didn't they? They kind of they changed it like really quickly, and it didn't look like Sonic. I wasn't too bothered about it at the time. I thought, you know what, maybe let's just give it a chance. But there was uproar on the internet at the time, wasn't there?
Some people say they did it on purpose to get the fans' reaction and get it all done. But whether that's true or not, I don't know. I read it. Can't remember where I've read it now, but.
One day that'll get revealed. It'll be like a big reveal.
It's a bit like the Deadpool leakage, isn't it, on the first movie?
I was thinking that same thing there.
Purpose.
Yeah, exactly that way. I was thinking that. I was like straight away there. But yeah, I think they're great movies. Both. The Sonic movies are really good. I like you said, it's like Ben said in the comments. I think it's good that. If they did listen. If it was a fake out, like you said, and they obviously done it on purpose, maybe to get more like press around the movie, that's a smart move. But even if they didn't do that and they listened to the criticism of it, I think it's equally as good. I think whatever avenues they did were good as filmmakers. I think they made, because it made a lot of money, and I think it's obviously got a sequel. Yeah, it's going to be good. I can't wait to see that. So that's the Amazon top 10 for this week. We now move on to the final section of today's show, and it is what's been on the screen. I'm going to start with yourself, Shaun. What have you been watching? What have you been playing this week, potentially? What's been on your screen?
Yeah, so I've been binge watching a couple of TV shows. That 70s show.
All right, okay. I've never watched it.
Yeah, Ashton Kutcher's in that one.
They're doing a sequel, aren't they, as well to that one?
Yeah, that is an 80s or 90s show. It's the grandchild of Eric and Donna from the actual show.
One of the
So,
best sitcoms of all time, would you say? Is it up there with like a Two and a Half Men or?
it's really good. The old guy from Robot, is it Kurtwood?
Oh, I know the guy, the
Yeah,
villain in it. He's in
yeah,
that, isn't
yeah.
he? Yeah.
He's the dad. He's the dad in that '70s show.
Is he playing like a good guy in it? Is he, or is he?
He's a hard dad, so I say. He's very
All right, okay.
there's a lot of discipline and stuff in it.
What movies have you been watching this week, Shaun? Any movies?
I watched the new Netflix movie, The Adam Project, with Ryan Reynolds.
Right, I watched that the other week. What'd you think of it?
I thought it was a fun movie.
Yeah,
I thought it was pretty good. I wasn't expecting much because some of the Netflix stuff can be a bit funny, but I really enjoyed it. I like the time travel element to it.
Good cast,
So,
good cast.
I thought the kid in it was really, really good in it.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was a fun film. That it's by the director Shaun Levy. He directed that one. What was the movie he did before that? It was Free Guy.
Free Guy, yeah, Free Guy.
That was a good. Did you like? Have you seen that one, Shaun?
Yeah, it's really good.
That was a great watch.
Since it come out,
really fun.
And one of those ones you have to watch over and over again because there's so many Easter eggs and stuff like that in it.
Definitely. But Adam Project was definitely. I enjoyed that as well. I thought it was a really fun watch. I liked it. I mean, decent time travel movie, not too heavy. I think it's Ryan Reynolds doing his Ryan Reynolds sort of like character in there again. But I think it just worked well. I like the music in that movie as well. I thought some of the music was really cool.
Yeah, I thought it was really good. Mark Ruffalo's good in it as well.
Yeah, Mark Ruffalo. Yeah. And you got Zoe Saldana as well from
Jennifer Garner.
Yeah, Jennifer Garner as well. Yeah, some really great cast members.
I don't think I've seen her in anything for a while.
No, I can't. I remember the other week when I was doing the NFL show and I was watching a movie. I can't remember. I think it might have been called Draft Day with Jennifer Garner and it had Kevin Costner in as well. Oh, right. And I watched it and it was an absolute garbage of a movie. I turned it off after 20 minutes. No, don't waste your time. It's bad. It's really bad. I switched it off. I was like, I'm not talking about this one. It's but yeah, I've not seen her in much though. But in this, she's really good in Adam Project. I think it was a really, really fun movie. I watched this week Troy, and I mentioned this to you.
Yeah, Troy is awesome. It was one of those. I'm a bit hit and miss with Brad Pitt. Sometimes he does some really good ones. Sometimes
this is not a dud. This is a superb movie, isn't it? It's absolutely.
I think they're capitalising on Orlando Bloom, weren't they? Because he was in the Lord. I think he just finished Lord of the Rings or just started Lord of the Rings.
It must have. I mean, it was 2004. This, so
yeah.
It must have been around that time period where it was the end. I imagine of was it Return of the King? Was that like 2002? It come out or something like that? Or?
Can't be far away, can it?
Around that time period, wasn't it? It was. I mean, just Troy. It's a spectacular film. I was looking online because I'll be honest, I wasn't like super sure whether this was like a true story or what, and apparently it's like they've got proof that some of it could be a true story. It's from some writings, but it's sketchy whether it was true or not. I don't really know for sure whether it was completely all of it was 100% true. Obviously, they're not going to have a detailed, accurate account. It's a storytelling of a filmmaker, but I think it was just a great action scenes for the big battle sequences throughout. Yeah. But I like the story arc of his character of Achilles as well. And I'm kind of watching that movie and I'm thinking I've got that phrase, the Achilles heel, in my head, and I'm thinking, where's this phrase coming to? And you see it at the end of the movie, and it's like he gets shot in the heel, and it's just like, all right, that's where that name comes from. But honestly, throughout, I thought it was a great movie, fantastic film to watch.
There's a good pace into it. It's not too slow.
Yeah, definitely. But really enjoyed that. I thought it was a really incredible watch. But let's just go to that's what's been on the. Anything else comes to mind? Any other superb watch? Any fascinating fans you've found watching this week, Shaun?
Like I said, I watched a couple of the sequels for today. Back to the Future 2 and John Wick, and that. So I've watched a couple of those.
Superb. We'll just go to the live chat anyway, the live comments, and as always, getting your comments on the replay as well. If you listen to this on the replay, In the live comments, we got Walk On Always Believe. That is Brett. Walk On Always Believe. Brett and Rider Rated 18 both featured on the 50th episode that yourself, Shaun, featured on last year. And it was awesome, that episode, to get get all these cool collaborators involved, and just to hear your thoughts on the best year of movies. It was awesome to hear all your views on that, and it was just great to get you all on an episode together. Brett has said, "Boo, sorry if I made you jump." Aha, watcher guys, how are you? I'm doing good. I'm good, thank you. Cheers, Brett. I hope you're doing well as well, buddy. Rider Rated 18. I'm still going through Quantum Leap on DVD. Such a wonderful show. I know Ben is a big fan of Quantum Leap. I think he's in some of like the Facebook groups and stuff like that. I know he's a big fan of that.
I've got the complete collection of those. It's really good.
Are you a fan of the show, Shaun?
Yeah, I like the show. I've seen it for a while, but yeah, it's really good.
I've seen a couple of episodes. It looks like a really cool concept, but it's one I've never really digged too deep into. But it looks like something else.
There was talk about doing either a remake or a reboot of the show. There was talk of that. I think
it'd be good. I think it'd be a good idea doing something like that. I think it'd be it's good at show concept. I like the idea of Quantum Leap. But and Brett also, Walk On Always Believe, said, I've just ordered 2 DVDs and 1 Blu-ray for around the $5. Should arrive Wednesday. Awesome. Nice. Let us know what the DVDs were, the movies were, Brett. I'd be able to find out. Ben also said, been doing Daredevil again now that it's coming to Disney Plus. All them sequel, the TV shows coming to Disney Plus, coming over from Netflix. What are your thoughts on that, Shaun? Are you a big fan of them shows? Or?
Oh, I love those shows. I think they're really good. It's a shame they're not releasing the 3rd one on DVD for Daredevil and Jessica Jones season 2, because I got the first lot ones that they've released on DVD, but for some reason and just not releasing the rest of them.
I mean, we might get them some point, maybe like a few years down the line, but I think like at the moment it's going to be on Disney Plus in it for the foreseeable by the sounds of it.
As long as they don't mess with them too much, because I know that there's a lot of blood and violence and stuff in them.
Definitely. What was your standout? What was your favorite?
Punisher was my favorite.
See, that's one I didn't see. I didn't see that show. How many seasons did he do with that? Was it 1 or 2?
There's 2. It's 2 seasons of the Punisher. I really like the Punisher. Then Daredevil, then Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, and then Iron Fist. Iron Fist I wasn't a big fan of.
I watched the first season of that. I didn't see the second season, but I didn't mind it. But I think Daredevil. It was
the fact that he's supposed to be the world's greatest martial artist, and he kept getting caught and kept losing fights and stuff like that. And in the comics, he's supposed to be the world's greatest.
Yeah.
Defenders was good. Did you watch that?
I enjoyed that. I thought it was a really cool watch.
Shame they didn't make another one of those. I thought that.
Yeah, it's like Ben saying, like season 1 and 2 of Daredevil made it to Blu-ray. Very odd decision. They didn't do any more. It's season 3 was really good. I enjoyed season 3. Yeah, I'm obviously they're on about. It's heavily rumored now they're going to be doing a new season of Daredevil in this new MCU. So I mean, I'd be happy to see it if they do something like that. But whether it happens, who knows. But anyway, that is today's show over and done with. If you enjoyed today's show, please do give it a like if you're watching on YouTube. And if you're not subscribed to the channel already, do give it a subscribe. And let us know what you think on today's topics of today's show, of the Clash of the Movies sequel. If you are listening to this via the podcast app, please do leave a review. The review helps the community to grow, the channel to grow, and all reviews will be read out on the podcast once we get some reviews coming in. That'll be awesome to see. But it's been a really awesome show today. Clash of the Movie sequels. Every 3rd month of this year, it's going to be a pay-per-view show, and I think doing this sort of thing is a really fun idea. I've really got to say I've enjoyed it. But I just want to say, first of all, anyone who's been watching in the live chat or on replay, thank you very much for watching. I also want to say big thanks to you, Shaun, for joining the show today and being a huge part of today's show.
I've really enjoyed it. It's been good fun.
It's been great. It's been really fun chatting to you, Shaun. Let's just give a final plug. Where can people find you, Shaun, on the internet again? I'm
on YouTube, Facebook. I'm under my own name, Shaun Quarterman. YouTube, Letterboxd, and Instagram, I'm as Media Collector Madness _ between all three words. So Media _ Collector _ Madness. Letterboxd as well, which I haven't really posted much on at the moment, but I'm going to. And that's it, really. That's where you can find me.
And I will, like I said, I'm going to put all the bio descriptions. I'm going to put Shaun's channel, Media Collector Madness, his links in the bio description, and all the other channels I mentioned in today's episode on the description as well. But again, yeah, thank you very much for coming on the show, Shaun. It's been great
really
chatting to you, buddy. We will definitely do this again very soon. I'm sure of it. I've really enjoyed today. It's been nice sharing the mic for a while as well, for a change. And it's been nice hearing someone else's thoughts on movie topics in a live environment as well. And it's been I've really enjoyed it today. I feel like the best movie sequel won in Clash of the movie sequels. Back to the Future Part 2 takes the crown as the best sequel today of Clash of the Movie sequels. But let us know your thoughts on today's topic. What is your choice out of today's competition? What would be your winner of Clash of the Movie sequels? Let me know your picks and why. And let me know some of your favorite movie sequels of all time. Let me know all your choices. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. Remember to spread a bit of movie cheer. And as always, I will see you next time. And Shaun, let's just go for a big wave goodbye to the YouTube audience and say thank you very much to Shaun for coming on the show. And thank you everyone else for tuning in. Have a great day. I'll see you next time.
Thank you.